They're both SUVs, but check out the difference between the compact SUV from Land Rover and the full-sized SUV from Infinity. You know, Kato, I always thought the Land Rover was a fairly large SUV until I saw that monster.
Well, this monster is the Infinity QX56, and it is gigantic.
It is.
I mean, this weighs 3 tons. 3 tons, almost 3 tons. But it's a little bit smaller than it was in 2010. They've actually gone to a smaller size giant.
Smaller, yeah. With a giant price tag to match. I mean, as we look at that thing, that's what, north of $80,000?
As equipped, $83,000, and then we haven't even figured in taxes and gas guzzler and all the rest of it. I mean, you can get 2 of your little Land Rovers for the price of one of these big Infinities.
Correct. This is the entry-level Land Rover. This is 40-something. But it's an interesting mix of technologies, because Land Rover used to be owned by Ford. Volvo was owned by Ford. This started life as a Volvo. Now, of course, what? Land Rover is Chinese and Volvo's Indian? Have I got that right?
Absolutely. And this one used to be built, this Infinity, in North America on a pickup truck, the Nissan Titan. Now they've changed it. It's built on the Nissan Patrol, which is one of their big global off-road. I mean, if you go to Botswana, you might ride in the Nissan Patrol. They just gussied this up, lots of fancy features, and they charge $85,000 for it.
And they actually sell them. Do you know they're selling 1,000 of these monsters a month in the U.S.?
I do know that. In fact, 10% of Infinity's volume for the last couple of years has been these giant things in the U.S. Americans still tow things, and this has a tow rating of 8,500 pounds. You could tow 3 of those little Land Rovers you're driving.
Move the beast. Move the beast. So here we go in our Japanese Escalade.
Well, that's exactly what it is. I mean, these things are giant profit machines for Cadillac, for Toyota Sequoia.
Yeah.
So you've got the Infinity here, and they really want to grab as many of those buyers as they can, so they upgraded everything inside.
Well, the inside is pretty good. They've upgraded it considerably. I gather the fake wood is real wood this time.
Oh, it's always real wood. This is just better real wood. It's better vinyl. I think the leather quality is much better than, I like the exposed stitching. And we've even got a little wood inlay in the steering wheel. You know, it makes me feel like I'm ready to go to the country club.
Yeah, to wash dishes.
Wash dishes? I could carry the whole kitchen back there. It's got enough room. Maybe a couple of kitchens and a few golfers and a few golf clubs and everything. This thing is massive, and yet it's smaller than it was before.
Do you actually have to drive this thing, Kato, or is there enough technology that'll do it for you?
You know, it's got automatic cruise control. It's got a backup camera. It's got all sorts of things that beep if you go over the line without using your turning signal. I think there's a little man who jumps out of the glove box and yells at you if you're getting too close to somebody in front of you. I mean, it's all there. It's like having every nanny in your life living with you in the car.
Now, I'm looking, I see a 3rd row way back there. It doesn't look too large.
Amazing, as it is, they lost 2 inches of wheelbase, and that's all in the cabin. So the 3rd row is a little tighter than it used to be. I mean, those things are never for real people anyway, but my gosh, you lose 2 inches of room in the 3rd row, that's a lot.
But Kato, it's a green vehicle. See that paint? Green. That's the only green thing about it. But I want to ask you this. Does it have the bling of a Cadillac Escalade?
No. Cadillac has successfully really captured that whole wrapper thing and, you know, the big wheels and all that. Infinity, the whole brand is it's confusing, and this vehicle just confuses me more.
All right, Kato, from your Infinity to my Land Rover.
I don't know, it's pretty small.
My first problem with this Land Rover is that it doesn't look enough like a Land Rover. If I've got a Land Rover, I want something that the Queen would be happy driving. You know, she goes off to slaughter deer in her private park.
I agree with you, and I hate to do that, of course, because, you know, I don't think the Queen would like this because, first of all, it's too small for her. I mean, this is a compact little thing. And second, it doesn't look regal. I agree with you. We should mark this date down in history.
Besides, where would you put the dead deer?
Well, I wouldn't want to put them in here because this interior is pretty nice. I mean, I like the headliner, this nice creamy color, nice materials here, simple controls, touchscreen display, smart, you know, it's smartly put together.
Yeah, but it's not very well put together. That's the problem. Year after year, Land Rover languishes at the bottom of the J.D. Power surveys.
Now, how does that happen? I mean, J.D. Power is like taking a test. You learn to take the test. You figure out what things matter to the consumers, and then you correct them. I think it's the workforce in that plant they've got. We've been there, remember? They're a pretty surly crew.
Well, they'll get a little discipline when the company moves them to China.
No, India.
Oh,
Land
right.
Land Rover is an Indian company now with British, people speaking for it. And the whole group, this is what's really funny, is run by a German who used to work for General Motors and before that BMW. Figure that out in the car business.
However, this Land Rover will still go over rocks and logs and bogs and streams. It's very capable.
There's this little controller down here that allows you to dial in the four-wheel drive system for sandy conditions, for snowy conditions. You can control the hill descent of the vehicle. So it's a serious off-road vehicle. In fact, I've been in sand dunes in Morocco in this and didn't get stuck. It was better than the bigger LR3 and LR4.
Well, that makes sense. This is a small one.
Right, so there's not tons of room inside it. It is kind of cramped up here for us, and in the back seat, well, it's not really a four-person adult vehicle.
Well, we can knock this thing, but people still buy them. Even with car sales down this year in Canada, SUV sales stronger than ever.
And this LR2 plays in the fastest growing segment in the country. You've got the Mercedes-Benz GLK and the BMW X3, and you've got the Acura RDX. I mean, everybody wants a piece of this action. It's too bad this one's priced so high. They might sell more of them if it were cheaper. I think there's a little man who jumps out of the glove box and yells at you.
Yeah, to wash dishes.
Was that your one line?